Business, a person's occupation, profession, or trade. Connection, a relationship in which a person or idea is linked or associated with something else. Welcome to Business Connection. Each week, our program will offer inspiration to navigate the business world. Information you can use to succeed in any field. And we will help you focus on your goals. Join us now for Business Connection with your host, B.C. Clark.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Business Connection. I'm your host, B.C. Clark. As you know, we interview business owners across the state, some out of state as well. But today I have three business owners, queen bosses, who we're just going to have a conversation today about business, some of the things that we've encountered, some things we'd like to see happen differently. So I'll let each of them introduce themselves, and then we'll get started with our discussion. Nicole, why don't you start off?
So my name is Nicole Lewis. I'm an author and a speaker, as well as a femininity coach, and I do personal development.
My name is Millicent Crawford. I am a vocal artist, and I am a mentor, and that's it.
All right.
And my name is Nicole Ryan. I own a company called Lana Solutions. It is a debt relief company, but we also minor in credit educations and business consulting and a lot of other fun stuff.
Yeah, and it's so good because, and I'm B.C. Clark. I am a coach, mentor, educator in business, and a trainer. Public speaking, all of that. So let's kind of get down to the brass tacks of this. And we're here today because we're going to talk a little bit about as women and some of the things that we encounter, even in starting our businesses. And then look at some of the resources that are available but that most people don't really know is available. Like when grants come out, a lot of times you don't know that those grants are available.
Yes.
Right? Usually when I hear about grants, I usually send people a message, I call them or what have you and say, there's a grant. I don't know all the specifics about it, but here's where you need to go and apply.
Right.
Or here's where you need to go and sign up. And so have you guys experienced that? Because there's a grant right now.
Yeah.
It's called the NSBAA. And I believe it's being distributed through the Nebraska Enterprise Fund and Grow Nebraska. So if you guys don't know that, you can go to either of those locations and apply. There may be some restrictions. Maybe you needed to be a client of theirs. I'm not sure. But you can just check it out. It doesn't hurt to call up and ask or go and see.
Right.
And I believe that the GNWBC is working out of Heartland Solutions. So you can go there and check. And of course, Nebraska's down in Highlander. But some of those things are out there. The cities sometimes have grants. So you want to always be alert and checking. Because as business owners, we always need money.
Always.
I don't care what people say. They say, oh, no, I'm set. Yeah, I don't think you're ever set because there's always training for yourself. There's equipment you may need. There's always, even if you're trying to put on an event, events cost money.
Seminars, growing, scaling.
And everything does. And so since I'm a connector, I put on a lot of events.
Yes.
And they all cost.
Yes.
Right.
Sometimes it may cost you only the food in that particular place, or sometimes you pay a fee for the room.
That's right.
And for the food.
Right.
And so there's no such thing. So, but remember though, as money is coming into your organization or your business, you want to have something that you set back as a reserve.
Right.
And I know that's hard when you're first starting out and beginning to build.
Right.
But just have that mindset that as money begins to come in and things kind of settle down on your bills and you have those, then you want to be able to see, okay, I have $10 I can put over here, for the reserve.
Yes.
And I think that that's really important. I think what happens is that we get excited that money is coming in and we start spending money.
Right.
We're not keeping track of what's coming in,
That's right.
what's going out. And then we're running into that financial problem of not being able to pay our bills.
Right.
And then we have to send them to Nicole.
Yes.
Over here, to Lana Solutions.
Indeed.
Right.
So I think today we want to just kind of talk through those things because those are real problems
Yes.
that we all have. Unless somebody has given us a boatload of money and we're just sitting on it.
Right.
Whenever we need it, we just take it out and do what we need.
Definitely.
Call me up if you are in that position.
Okay.
But I think that we, can discuss that because more people are in the position where we're trying to make it every day.
Right. I
You know?
agree.
What are some of your thoughts?
Well, I can definitely speak from trying to get Lana Solutions off the ground to a point where I can hire the employees, get the office space, and be stable as a single mother of 6 kids, right? So I've always had it in my face that you got to go harder, you got to go bigger, you got to go this, you got to go that. And thank God I was under mentors like yourself, Dr. Martins and Linnell Williams, who were like, look, you don't have to look the part before you become the part.
Yes.
You can do it in your basement. Then he introduced me to millionaires who had 20 employments and the business was in their basement. There's opportunities where you can be set up in free spaces and resources and connections. And I totally agree with you. And I think the biggest thing that stuck out with what you just said is the opportunities in Omaha, Nebraska, and the African American businesses. If you're not in a particular circle or sector, you are being overlooked.
Right.
Even though your business is still being counted in the numbers to get a lot of these resources and grants. But
you're
you
not.
don't get alerted at all. And so, yeah, we have to stay connected to folks like yourself and other entrepreneurs in the Omaha area, especially African Americans, because there's monies being dished out and even overlooked and sent back because we're not utilizing it.
Yeah, what's up?
Right. I think part of it. I think part of it has to do with the fear of stepping out and asking the necessary questions.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know who to talk to, and so you sit there and in your little cubby hole, you're at home or whatever, and so that fear overtakes you. And it's like, well, what do I do? Well, you gotta
Something.
You have to do something.
Yeah.
At least begin to walk and just try to get connected with certain resources. And I think the other thing is that we feel like a person feels like they have to go big.
And we don't.
You can't overlook the small beginning.
And it's a
You gotta
beautiful
start-
process.
Yes.
And it is a beautiful process.
It's a beautiful process.
And I look at it like stairs.
Yes.
Like going up.
Right.
And how many of you have tried to jump over stairs?
Oh, been there and fell.
Many times.
You know, you can. And so,
Tripped.
yeah, because you're building, and every step you step on, you're learning.
Yes.
So when you miss steps,
Oh, my goodness.
it's something that you need when you get further on.
Yes.
So you end up having to come back.
Yes.
To get that
That's
you
good.
missed.
That's
Right.
good.
And so, but the thing we can't do is stay in that cubby hole.
Right.
Or stay to ourselves
can't.
and say, well, I just don't know what to do. So, I'm just going to stay here. No, get up, get out, and get going.
Exactly.
Get going.
Exactly.
You can't,
Because it doesn't negate your gift, is what I'm
Yes,
finding out.
yes.
If you do it on a street corner without an office or whatever, that does
doesn't
not
negate
negate my
That's right.
purpose
No.
and what I was sent here to do.
Right.
Exactly.
And you have to realize, too, when something is calling you out,
Come on.
right, you have to go.
Yes.
You can't say, oh, I wonder if I should.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
coulda, woulda. No, go.
Right, yep.
Because if you don't go, you never know.
You never
And then you're in that mode
And
now.
there's risk.
Oh, I shoulda.
Yeah.
Right.
So
yes.
get rid of shoulda,
Shoulda, woulda,
get rid
coulda.
of coulda.
Right.
and
You
all
don't want
that
to
stuff.
you don't want to live in regret.
No.
I'm reminded, it's really interesting because sometimes I am reminded of different movies. So I'm reminded, I believe it was the X-Men. And one of the actors was had to get from one place to another. There was nothing visible that you could see
Come
to
on.
get to this enclosed plastic area where this person was being held a prisoner. And so in order to get there, he had to use his imagination. Well, the minute he took a step, there was a step that came up. And every time
Come
that he
on
did
now.
that,
Yes.
the steps kept coming.
And that's what-
and you just walk, and eventually he was at his goal.
Yep.
He reached his goal. But it's, again,
It's the
that
don't
fear.
know.
It's the don't know.
And you're not going to know.
And you know what? You shouldn't.
And you shouldn't
And
know.
you shouldn't try to figure it out before you get there.
Yeah, just
right?
start walking.
Because I think that's what a lot of people do. They have to have assurance
Yes.
That
this
it's
is
gonna
gonna
work.
Right.
And that means that you're not trusting God.
You got to trust.
That you don't have faith.
You got to have it.
Right?
Right
Because
now.
faith is movement.
Yes.
Substance.
Right?
Yep.
Faith is
Title
movement.
deed. Yes, ma'am.
If you don't have it, then you're stuck. And I talk to a lot of people who will say, well, I was going to, I was going to,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I couldn't see how that would work. Right. And I always say, well, How is it that you couldn't see
Right.
whether it would work? Because you have to be in it to know if
You're
it's going to
right.
work or not.
You're right.
Dr. Martin says, has
I use
said
a lot of
this on-
those Martinisms.
Yes,
The
It's a
Martinisms.
Martinism.
That's right.
He had made a statement. He was teaching one Sunday, and he made the statement about how you. Oh, did I just lose my train of thought? About I lost my train of thought.
That's all right.
But
It'll
I'm
come
gonna
back.
get it.
But you
It'll
know,
come back
it
to you.
will. Because you know, it's like fog, right?
Huh?
It's like fog, like when you just talked a minute ago that
Right.
he couldn't see, right?
Right.
But you know what? Sometimes you have to have the faith to believe, close your eyes, and step.
You do.
You have to walk in faith.
He's faithful.
And every step you take is another step.
It
you take
is.
Yep.
Until you get to where you're going
That's
to.
right.
Step
It's like I always
closer.
tell people, so a job description says all these things, right? You have 3. Oh, I won't make it.
Oh, please.
Go and
Now I
apply.
remembered.
Go and apply. Go and apply.
Yes.
Because you know what? You don't know what they need.
Right.
They just put anything in
They do.
in those
when we
descriptions
create
anyway.
those recs,
Right.
You know, we put anything in.
Put
Right.
anything in there.
And
But
so-
you're trying to make sure you're eliminating.
Pipeline. I want all this.
Exactly. So
You-
with that,
elimination.
that's what it was. He talks about the job. You spend 8, 9, 10 hours on your job. You give everything that you have
Someone else's dream.
to someone else's
else.
dream, and you're not at home. So if you're working on your own, so your 8 hours or however many hours you're working on that day job, you go home and put just as much effort into your vision, your dream, and your person,
That's
so that
right.
your purpose, and build that thing
That's
to the point
right.
where eventually you will come off of that job
Come on.
and you'll be walking in purpose. fulfilling
Yes.
destiny.
Because a lot of people will stay on a job for 20 years, and although they've been called out of the job 5 years prior,
It's comfortable.
So when they get, it's really comfortable. But when they get that call,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden now they're being laid off, then they're devastated. So they go through this grieving period, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I always ask, what happened like 4 years ago? What happens like 3 years ago before this?
Yes.
Oh, well, you know,
Being
they had a new
nudged.
changes that came in, and there was a new guy that came in. How did you feel before that?
Right.
Well, you know, I was thinking about getting a job, getting starting my own business. And what stops you? Oh, you know, I just felt like, you know, I need the income to keep coming in.
Right.
Well, now
You have to.
you have to decide, are you going to get another job and
That's
work for someone
right,
else
right.
and not understand what's going to happen? Or you're going to own what you plan to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And owning your own business takes courage.
It does.
It takes commitment.
It does.
It, you know, it takes faith.
Yes.
And you have to believe.
Right.
Yes.
You know, and I keep thinking about that because no, I'm rebuilding, right? I don't feel like I lost anything. I feel like this is my time now to rebuild my legacy.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
When I left back in 2016 and went to work for NEF, that was a call that I had to go and do. I was called out to do that. Because I prayed about that. And I was like, I don't want to work for nobody no
Right.
more. But then it was something that came to me and said, but in this venture that I'm sending you to,
Right.
there is a lot that not only you will give, but you'll also earn.
Receive.
So it was that the reason why I went to
Right.
that. And one thing I know that whenever God sends you someplace, you never leave it like you found it.
That's
Right.
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 You know.
It's completely.
And so
cultivate.
when he told me it was time for me to leave, you know, it's never when you think it is, right? It's when he says it.
That's right.
And when he says, I want you to get out of the office. So I started working in the Bay. It was so weird.
Yeah.
It was like, no, it's time.
It's time, you know.
And so, you know, so a lot of things went through my head. You know, I was like, okay, all right, you know, just like everybody else. You know, you have that, you have that thing. But then, you know, my assurance is that he's never failed me.
It's like you
Right.
trust me or you don't.
Have too much.
You have to walk. You have to walk with whatever he
have
gives
to.
you, and you have to trust that
Amen.
he's the one who's paving the way.
Exactly.
Because I don't believe in nobody else but him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm walking with him.
Right.
And I have the faith that wherever he's taking me, he already got it taken care of.
Yes, he's already provided that.
So I don't need to see it.
No.
I just need to be it. Right?
That's
And
it.
do what he's
That's
called me
right.
to do.
That's
Yes.
it.
That's to continue to do what I've been doing.
I'm
Coach
telling
the
you.
people, you know, give his people the education, serve his people
Right.
with the skills, the talents, and abilities that he's given me.
Exactly.
So that not only they become better,
Right.
but I do too, because it's a two-way street.
It is.
Yes.
You know?
It is.
Yes.
And you know when you're living in your purpose.
Yes.
It's a dance.
the power.
You know what
there
I'm
is
saying?
power.
They're like, well, they don't want you. Okay, well, somebody over here do.
Somebody will.
And you know what I mean?
Yes,
You're just
there is
constantly
power.
dancing.
There's power in your purpose.
It's so much power.
And that's why I love, there's a thing that I do that I first learned this, it's a whole education piece from Bertie Martin.
okay.
And when I first went through that, I was like, I mean, it caused you, because you're writing down stuff, I mean, it really draws out what that purpose is. You begin to understand what it is.
Okay.
But I put that on a couple times. I think it's out on YouTube somewhere. But anyway, it's pulling everything together, and it's helping you understand and see something you've even done as a child.
Right,
How it
right.
relates to what you do. I used to always want to be the teacher. I was the teacher in every situation, or else I wasn't gonna play.
I ain't playing. I'm a teacher.
You see what I'm saying? So you look at all those things, and then all of a sudden you come back to this place where you're just like, he had already designed that. So why am I doing it?
Right. So things that you've done naturally all your life from childhood, and even the things
Help
that you've
people,
dreamt
love on people.
Yeah.
care
about, the
for
things that
people.
you envisioned while you're dreaming. These are things that, and it's like, it's not, we want to be, I think society has taught us to be somebody that we're not.
Come on.
Oh, absolutely.
And so we have to dig deep and realize, no, that's not my measure. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
This right here,
This is it.
This is what I think, eat, drink, and
This is
sleep
it.
on
All the time.
It's burning in my
How
belly.
do I not do this?
How do
Yes.
I not do this?
Like that song says, how do I not praise him?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's early in the morning. Don't
Don't
start.
let me get the shot now.
No, don't you start. Don't you get that started. It's still early.
But so let's talk about some of the resources that people don't talk about that we need, right?
I do.
Let's start that conversation, because I
would
think
say
that there's
one of the things that people forget about is it's our duty when we get into a position to launch somebody else and play leapfrog. It's our duty, because then when they get to their position, then they can bring us to that position.
Right.
And I think a lot of people hoard
yeah.
resources
Yes.
because they
Stuck in
forget that
laws.
our job and our duty is to expand and to grow
Right.
as human beings.
Right.
We're supposed to evolve.
Right.
And so one of the things that I would say that's needed and necessary is for us to play leapfrog.
I think so.
And realizing that there's enough of the pie for everybody.
There's more
There's
than enough.
more than
There's
enough.
too
Once you
much.
take your sliver,
Yes.
so many slivers
There's
of that pie
too
left.
much.
And don't be jealous and all this stuff. I'm going to just talk to y'all right now, because see, this is what I see a lot of. The reason why we don't get as far as we
agree.
can, because we're jealous and we hoard stuff. We don't transfer some of our knowledge to other people who can come up.
Yes.
I mean, we have people that watch us, people that are assigned to us.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're watching what we do.
Everything.
And so we have to make sure we're reaching back
Yeah.
to pull them up by giving them information.
Exactly.
Coming up, giving them,
Amen.
transferring skills to them so they can become better and get in better positions.
That's correct.
If we're not doing that, then we're losing.
We have to. Because that's what it's about. The only reason a lot of us have been called to this position is because I know that he knows our heart.
Yes.
And he wants us to understand and know that, look, you are made in my image and likeness for a reason.
Right.
And you're out here, and I'll use whatever I choose to use to touch my people who I love more than anything in this world. And another thing I've seen him do, get out the way. I'm going to go ahead and let this one do it.
Exactly.
We don't have time for that. Because, I mean, we're living in an age now where it's like, we know that even though we can pour business stuff into folks, we also know we're pouring love, attention.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We truly care. You know what I mean? Most of my clients that come to me, I've noticed that it ain't even about the finances.
Exactly.
Have you ever noticed
Exactly.
that, guys?
They
We're
care.
way over here talking about something else, and then we get to secretly pray and cover folks and do so many different things. So
Yes.
I can only speak for, what I've been around.
Yes.
A lot of us are called to the people, period.
Yes.
And I've always thought that I was called to the people. I really, and I love it.
Because you
I do
love them
too.
so much, and you're like, well, I don't want to be
wanna
too
see 'em.
mushy and too crazy, but you just care for people.
Because I want to see you.
I want
Yes.
to see you.
Yes.
I want to see you grow and mature into that beautiful flower that you were created to be. There's so much more beyond what you see.
Come on.
Yeah.
I see a bigger picture,
on.
but I need you to see that for yourself as
yes,
well.
absolutely. And I think that's important too, because we need to understand that, when he gave us these talents, these skills and abilities, it's not for us.
It's not.
It's for us to serve his people.
For us
Yeah.
to service people.
And we get
That's
a
why there
benefit.
are certain people that you'll even come into contact with that you have no business charging either.
Exactly. So you have to use your
You
discernment.
have to use your
You gotta
discernment
know.
because I'm all for you gonna pay
Profit,
what
yes.
you weigh. Now
Yes.
I give you that.
Yeah.
But
I wanna
you
be a blessing.
do have certain
Yeah.
people that are literally called
And
to that
you bless
business.
people. You
and
bless
you
people
know
without
though.
even knowing it.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You'd know it in your
I mean,
heart.
It's like,
it
well, let
is.
me call that one back. It's someone right about that. Well, what
Yeah.
do you have?
Yeah. Usually I just start
It's like
talking
I'll
usually
work with you.
That 15-minute discovery, that's what I use that for. Because in that 15 minutes, I can discern.
No.
And if it's somebody that say, I've been trying, I got this, I got that.
Yes.
And my heart, the Holy Spirit says,
The heart
you need
just
to- this
goes
is just,
out. Yep.
you need to just do this.
Yes.
And that's who I rely on. Because you can tell
You
when
know.
people are genuine or not.
Oh, yeah,
Or
yeah.
if they want to just come and waste your
Yes,
time.
heck yeah.
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And I usually try to get away from the ones who want to waste
weed
my
through it.
time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't have anything to say. I just listen to them talk.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because you give them all that stuff.
Yeah.
They walk away and they don't even use it.
Right.
So when someone makes a statement that, oh, I wish you would have stayed down there because then you don't have to pay for nothing, then I know that wasn't nobody.
You know. Yeah.
They're not going to do anything with the information.
Exactly. 'Cause they don't
How many
know.
people come to classes? They come to the class, they get all the information,
Right.
come back for the next cohort.
Right.
It was like, okay, so did you,
Did you learn anything?
Yeah.
Did you
you know?
Yeah.
So they're just people that's wasting your time and coming up and just taking up a seat.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's the issue of them coming in to come get information
Yeah.
for them to reuse it.
Reuse it,
For
and
their own
go and charge for
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
Right. So, but we give them to the Lord. We don't care about that.
We do. We don't. That's
You know,
like
it's just what it is. What it is. But I think that a lot of times too, that most times people are genuine,
for real.
and you can tell the ones who are just doing shenanigans.
Yeah.
And so the ones that
I don't even think
really-
they know they doing
They don't.
shenanigans half
No,
the time. 'Cause
no,
they're
they
walking
don't.
around blind and
Yeah.
you're just like, I'm just going to pray for you. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's all you can do.
Pray for you.
But then, there's some that really will come
Really
to everything you have, and they really want to glean what you have.
They do.
And those are ones that I just pull in.
Pour into.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
because
Heck
because
yeah.
that's what we're supposed to do
That's
anyway.
what it is.
They're going somewhere, and even people that are already established,
Yeah.
will come to you and say, I'm just trying to do this, whatever. And I always tell people, connecting with other people is so huge when you have a small
I was
business.
just thinking that.
Yeah, because and that's why I speak so deeply on networking.
That networking is it.
Because
I'm
it is
telling you.
huge. I'm
Right.
telling you.
I'm telling
I mean,
you.
people will meet me and I'll connect them to 50 different people.
Yes.
So connecting is one of my strengths.
Yes.
It really is. And not only that, but I know a lot of resources and I have influence with different
exactly.
people.
You do.
And so I think that those are skills too.
Yes.
That you learn by going through.
Yep.
Correct.
And
Yes.
and
yes.
you meet people and they see you're genuine, and so they want to
They do, yeah.
pour into you. So it's a evolving thing, just as Nicole said.
Yeah.
And I think that is great. I think as women though, we have to be able to have our voice, and when we
We
go
do.
into a situation, we just speak. And I think a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
They'll say, well, I was waiting for everybody else to finish. Well, I'm not saying be rude, but you need to let people know you're
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
it's a learned behavior, though. You
It is
get
a
into it after a while. You're just like,
Hopefully,
okay, hold up
yeah.
now.
Right.
This ain't the old days where we had networking one-on-one. We had to on the shoulder to slide into the conversation.
Exactly. Yeah.
I usually stand straight. Just
But
like
it
this
gets
here.
comfortable though. It becomes
Yeah.
and it becomes very authentic. It's just
Exactly.
it's who you are.
Yeah.
And you are important and you do have something to say.
Exactly.
Yeah, and after a
Period.
couple of times of that, then you start feeling it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's etiquette in everything you do.
It is.
And there's etiquette in
There is.
networking.
Yes, yes.
It's when you've been connected to someone, there's etiquette in that.
Yeah.
What do you do after? Okay, so they connect me to so and so. Do I? Yeah.
Right.
There's something that you have to learn, and I think that you want to be involved in mostly everything, so that
Right.
you're visible.
I think another piece of it is knowing your measure. It's if I am not able to help you in this particular scenario, I know somebody.
I know
Absolutely.
somebody
I can
who
refer
help
you to.
Yeah.
And so
that's one of the things,
knowing
too.
that measure and understanding that I'm not here to hoard anything.
Right.
But I want to give you every key possible for you to be successful.
That's
Yes.
right. That's
So
right.
information I don't know, if I don't know it, I'm going to find somebody who does.
That's what I'm talking about.
So that it can help you.
And we have to, because I feel like God has put different people in place where we're
Yes.
supposed to. Now, you know, this person is supposed to be with this person and this person. And because I'll get the names and just the businesses and
Yes,
stuff
you
start
do.
to pop up, and I'll start seeing people's faces. And it's like, oh, shoot, you need to talk to BC.
Exactly.
You know, you need to, just for instance, you need to talk to the Crawfords.
Right.
You need to talk to Nicole. You need to, it's like, you know what I
you
mean? Because
know.
he exposes us to the people we're supposed to be working with.
Right.
Period.
Exactly.
And it's
exactly.
it's not a coincidence. We're in certain settings together in circles and stuff like that.
Right.
I truly believe that.
Yeah, I do too. And I think that, we do ourselves a disservice
Yeah.
if we're not networking and connecting
Yeah,
people.
you're-
I do.
Yep.
Because I think the more people that you connect,
Yeah,
it's the more people that are connected to you.
it is.
I agree. No man is an island.
No. and who wants to work on an island
I don't.
by themselves?
I don't.
Nothing
Go
happens.
visit one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would love to
just do a little snorkeling, but outside that.
And we have to remember to take care of ourselves, right?
do.
We do, and I think that we don't. I think, and
We need each other.
I'm one of the one. I'm talking about myself
Yeah,
right now,
yeah.
because I think of go, 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 and just like you said, I need to be hitting it hard now
Yeah,
that I'm
yeah.
rebuilding. And the other day, I had to stop and just take a breath and say,
resting.
wait a minute now.
It's God or it's me.
We have and we have to remember. We have to remember
Work, no
that
toil.
Jesus rested on the seventh day. You
Yeah.
know, you have to find a
have
day
some
of
time.
rest
Yeah.
to replenish, because you can't give from a place
Of
where
emptiness.
of emptiness.
You can't.
You have to be filled so
Yeah.
that, and so you have to remember. I got to step back.
Yeah.
And I have to replenish.
Yeah.
I got to
Take care of
spend
myself.
time
Yeah.
and take care of myself.
And usually when that happens to me, I usually just say, okay, Lord,
Yeah.
what do I do today?
Please, what am I
say, okay, let me
doing
read.
today?
What is it that you want me to look at? And sometimes it'll take me to different places. You know what I'm saying? To just look at what things are going on over there.
Yeah.
So I just love that. But we have probably a minute left. So give like a pointer or something that you guys would want someone to know. I mean, just anything, whether it's inspirational, whether it's on business.
Okay.
I think that we're here for a purpose and we know what it is, and it doesn't matter who agrees with it or disagrees, that our authentic selves just have to show up. And sometimes it might intimidate people, it might move people the wrong way. That's okay. And like Pastor Josh said, be around people who celebrate you,
Yes.
not tolerate
Not
you.
tolerate.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. One more before
That's
we
it.
get cut off.
That's good.
Anything else?
So I would say make sure that you're walking in your purpose, because if you don't and you leave this earth, you don't leave the next group their purpose, and you take away from other people. So I think we forget that our purpose shines the light on other people's lights.
Thank you so much. Well, we had a fantastic discussion
great.
today. I hope you learned something from it, and we will continue to have these things going on. So thank you for joining us today. This is the Business Connection. I'm BC Clark.